You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the October 19th, 2022 meeting of the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening and welcome to the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Board meeting for October 19th, 2022. Can you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Shannon, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Latchford?
Here.
Mr. Freeze?
Here.
Mr. Lang?
Here.
Mrs. Berlin?
Here.
The minutes from our October 5th meeting were prepared in advance and we were given time to review. So unless there are any changes or corrections, do we have a motion to approve?
I so move that we approve the minutes from the Wednesday, October the 5th meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Any project updates, old business or table business tonight?
No, sir.
All right, then we'll move into new business. The first item are the 2023 zoo fees, hours, events, forms, and agreements. Hello and welcome.
How you doing? Jamie Huss, Washburn Zoo. So basically I submitted the programs, fees, and documents for next year. We added a few new things, including the activity book, the trading card program. We want to start with to get our members to come back more often and have something to explore and to learn by collecting the trading cards each month. We thought that'd be a nice little way to have a souvenir, but that's educational on top of just being same plush or knickknacks. Nothing wrong with that, but something more education they can keep and collect. So we're hoping that that's a big successful program. Other than that, we didn't do too many changes other than increase the gate revenue just to keep up with the cost of food, staffing, and other costs. Any question I can try to answer?
Thank you. Questions for Jamie?
President Latchford?
Yes.
Interject quickly. Attorney Nuremberg and I have been working for the last month on trying to streamline all of the park agreements and particularly the insurance requirements and indemnification language. So she has come up with 4 tiers of indemnification that fit everything from admin, zoo to golf. And then insurance requirements this year were all reviewed by general insurance. So those weren't all red line changes in here. It's just a paragraph for each indemnification that changed. And I'd like to thank Attorney Nuremberg because it was a lot of work. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for pointing that out, Shannon.
You're welcome.
The other changes that are in are the number 11, the hours and fees, as Jamie indicated, number 12, the junior zookeeper club, and number 15, the recycle part Earth Day contest for additional changes in the packet.
I have a few things. Okay, first of all, this is awesome. I cannot believe all the stuff that you offer. I had no idea that the zoo offered all these parties and tours and all this stuff. This is really cool. And on that note, what is the difference between the Explore tour and the Discovery tour? They looked, one's like $100 per group and one was $50 per person, but they look like they were about the same.
One has animals. You actually take animals out for a one-on-one experience. You can't do that with a large group just because there's too many hands, too many people.
Yeah.
The more expensive is more for a VIP, a student in college planning to go vet tech, wanting to get that one hands-on.
Oh, that's
We have some
cool.
families who do it,
Yeah.
but we try to make it more educational value.
Yeah. Okay.
But the other ones are basically for the average group coming in
Mhm.
who are more of a time crunch.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
make it
I was
affordable.
curious what that was. Okay. And then as far as the general admission rates, and I mean, everyone knows that everything is going up in price like crazy. And you guys know your business way more than I do. I was just a little concerned about the increase, just especially to our Michigan City residents. I mean, is there any way that we can have it be less for the residents and then more for non-residents. I mean, than what it is, or is there a breakdown of how many people come from Michigan City and how many, and I'm sure you have that somewhere, but how many come from out of town and how many are Michigan City residents?
We have those numbers. We basically plan ours based on, we did the one list you saw of all the local zoos, our size,
Mhm.
all the same exhibits,
Mhm.
and then just the cost of everything going up from utilities to kind of make it affordable. It's kind of almost like the parking situation. It's
Yeah.
you gotta keep up with the times of the cost of what it takes to feed the animals.
Right.
Shipping has gone up immensely. So to keep us under the threshold of the zoo being a bigger loss to the city than we're
Mhm.
supposed to keep under the $250 threshold,
Okay.
we kind of had to make the numbers match.
Okay, so that's where we're at. I mean, I know that you're not there to make money, so, but it's right at that threshold where there has to be something has to be done about it.
Yeah, or that we're gonna start cutting programs or
Yeah. Mhm.
we've already done hours. Cause you look at everything when we take into consideration varies any price,
Yeah.
because we want to stay affordable too. But the biggest thing is some programs we have to go or
Mhm.
we have more staffing coming because regulations are going up. It
Yeah.
all kind of ties into just affordability. to keep
Yeah,
us sustained
right.
Without being a big impact on the
Mhm.
taxpayer and the city budgets.
Yeah. Okay. And then I know the Avery feed sticks. I remember from one of your reports that was a really good moneymaker. Well, I think it's on here anyway, but my concern was that if some of this stuff or maybe all of it, of course, just economics, when the price goes up, then the admission, number of people coming may go down, or the number of Avery sticks purchased may go down. So I didn't know if there was any play in that, or if you guys had factored that in there as far as
The feed, we did play with it because the more people we get going, more seed sticks sell at that cheaper price. That means the birds are eating their more healthy diet, the goats are eating their healthy diet. So some of that factor took into place too, that we had to either reduce the size and the number of food you get, which people won't like that either, because with more attendance, you sell more, you can end up with sick animals.
Yeah.
So there's that configuration too of playing it safe for the well-being of the animals.
Right.
So same thing, we compare it to other zoos, the price of feed,
Mhm.
the price of the seed sticks.
Mhm.
Seed alone has gone up immensely just because of the fertilizer and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So we took all that consideration before we
Mhm.
changed any prices.
Okay.
So
But then as far as for the admission, like I said, the admission fees and then the projection, because I don't think it factors in here a reduction in visitors. Do you guys expect that you'll have the same amount of visitors with the increased price? I guess
we're hoping, we made the train free. We used to charge for the train because we wanted a nickel and dime for everything.
Mhm.
So we kept that free, not to
Yeah.
have the extra cost there.
Right.
But it does cost us for an employee to manage the train.
Yeah.
So we try to kind of balance it out.
Mhm.
We're hoping the new exhibit brings in more visitors.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then just the experience you get from being on the lake
Yeah.
and then.
Yes. No.
So-
Hey, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I just, with just the up and coming, economics of the world and everything going up in price, I just hate to see people not be able to go to the zoo because it's, costing a little bit more, but I know we got to cover our costs. So.
And we still have the membership packages that
Yes.
you can buy and get unlimited admissions for free with the zoo. So
Yeah.
there's different options to take on.
Yeah.
And we still have the discounts for fair trips and so we try to keep it as low as we can with Potawatomi charging twice as much and but being so close, we have to be able to
Right.
and have the exact same cost that we have.
Yeah,
We have
definitely.
to make sure we can keep up.
And do you know what is the percentage of people who come to the zoo that are residents versus non-residents? I don't know if you know that off the top of your head.
Not top.
I was just curious. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
More people who are from, I would say most are from out of town.
Okay.
Come through.
I would say 70% would be for us.
Out of town.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why I was wondering maybe if we could charge the non-residents a little more, like charge them $1 more and charge Michigan City $1 less, was my thought.
We can adopt that too, but with parking, because they're paying, the out-of-town people is paying $15 for parking. With the local clerks, it gets it for free. That kind of takes away from that too.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's a lot of factors that play into it, even with memberships,
Yeah.
that we can't, I guess, make everybody.
Sure.
Um,
No, I'm sure this was a very complex decision. There was just a couple of, things that I wanted to ask. I guess, and I would also, and I love that with the train being free, then I'm sure you guys advertise that, but with anytime like you advertise your ticket price, just say free, free train ride included, which is just like a value added thing too.
Yep.
So people do complain about the price going up. You can't say, well, now the train is free and it didn't used to be free. It was free this year though,
Yes.
or it's been
Last
free
2
for a
years.
couple of years. Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
But then COVID kind of closed it down because of regulations. But yeah, we kept it, because some people talk about, at one time, charging for the tower, a separate fee. So we didn't want to make a nickel and dime,
Right.
kind of like the splash park, but keeping that free versus
Mhm.
charging that admission with the park. So so there's just a lot of factors that kind of
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I'm
Kind of
sure.
come
Very
into it,
complex.
so.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you, Jane.
makes the feedback.
One thing about fees is that we also have the, I guess, the ability to raise and lower fees. Let's say this price increase does have a dramatic effect on attendance. We can vote to change the fee to another rate.
During the season, you're saying?
Sure.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think what's happened too in the past, we've played with fees, whether it's years ago, I think if you lived in Trail Creek outside of Michigan City, you had to pay $60 for parking pass. We decided, let's see what happened. We lowered it to some more reasonable number, maybe $20.
Mhm.
Just to see what would happen. It had a dramatic effect. As
Yeah.
We sold many more, our revenue increased. And we've had other instances where we've raised some fees and it hasn't worked so well. We just changed them.
Right. Right. Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Any other questions?
Well, also, Jamie, I don't have any problem with the increases. It would be, how difficult would it be? Somebody comes up and says that I'm a Michigan City resident, if we were charging cheaper. To me, that would seem like a complicated thing. They'd have to show their ID or driver's license or something.
We have that program now, and they do have to show an ID,
Mhm.
and we have a button on the machine. We just hit up with that button and
Yeah.
and go from there. We try to keep it round numbers. That way, you're not doing a lot of change with road trips and all that kind of stuff there. So, and then deal with change in the safes. But no, we have a button, and as long as they show their ID or the military discount, we try to offer all those and the other zoo affiliation discounts. So we try to have a bunch of different aspects. And when you get the military discount, it's for the military member plus their whole family. So it's $1 off that admission. So,
That's nice.
By the way, I brought in an article that was in the Munster Times today. Janet, somebody has it. Anyhow, it's a great article. It's really about the Big Cat exhibit.
gotcha.
Very good coverage. I think a lot of people that read that will come over here just to.
Oh, yeah.
They wrote it up very nice.
So we're hoping. So we've been trying to avoid having a gate increase the last few years, just because we knew this project was going to be hopefully the defining factor of making it worth
Mhm.
the visit.
That's true too.
Being up
Yeah.
close and personal.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
yeah, and to get more done, we still got the island we want to do, and we still want to do a bigger gift shop. We got to find that funding
Mhm.
somewhere without
Sure.
going into debt. So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you and I have talked about this before, but I just wanted to publicly thank you and the rest of your crew. This, as Diana said, this is amazing.
Oh.
You can look in
Unreal.
this thing and find out exactly what is going on what day for the next year. And talk about organization.
Very
This is
organized.
awesome,
Yeah.
and I love this. Phil and I
Love
have
it.
been working on this
Yeah.
for 2 days. We're almost done.
But Shannon helped a lot with the forms and fees to help them streamline it, take out some of the wordiness of it, because there's so many details in all these programs. And it does help having it be more across the board the same.
So every
Thank you.
admission, the kids get this?
We give those to our zoo camps,
Oh,
to
the
our school
camps.
group,
Oh,
yep,
okay.
and then other for sale at the gift shop.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It's very educational, not only
Yeah.
there's fun things,
Well,
but
there are, yes.
the description about the animal, just very educational.
Mhm.
Somebody,
Very well done.
whoever put this together did a nice job.
Thank you.
Jamie, in regard to the hours, are these reverting back to where they used to be or this, I know we changed them last.
We still have the extended hours for the weekends, but not for the weekdays yet, just because we're still training staff who haven't been clearing on class 1 animals. Until we can guarantee we have seasonals help cover for safety, we didn't want to change that back until we thought we'd come back, in mid-season and amend it before the season takes over. Until we know that seasonal question, we didn't want to take that risk and have to change things the wrong way for the public to understand.
Thank you.
Now, how are you on staff right now?
A lot of ours go back to school, so we're a little bit lower there, and then just budgets. So we had to move some money out of there to cover other line items. So
Thank you.
When would you open up applications for summer help? Or
we actually do ours in by February, March. As soon as the city's ready to start sending them out, we start taking applications. We try to give first choice to the people who did the year before, who's already trained.
Yeah.
But the zoo, like a lot of departments, it's you can train them in the spring and it all changes by summer to change in the winter. So it's a constant And as soon as the exhibit moves, the roles might change. So it's a constantly evolving training process. So we use a tier process about how many hours you have in training to be able to deal with a class 1, class 2 animal. Because it takes a lot to work with a big cat or a wolf or just for safety. We always think safety's got to be the first
Yeah.
top priority.
You know, you had, excuse me, Diane had mentioned that asking how many people are from out of town and in town, and I obviously, if the two of you are not sure of that, I'm not either, but I can tell, I don't know if Diane, this was a couple of years before COVID,
Mhm.
and in the spring, it was the time for school just about to get out. And my wife and I were walking down there and we counted 22 school buses
Oh,
in the
wow.
parking lot.
Wow.
And most of those were from
Yeah.
out of town.
Yeah, that's
you know.
great.
So there's a lot of people from out of town that you
Yeah.
visit.
Yeah, so we want to keep those prices lower for tour groups so they can still afford the
Yeah.
trips over here.
Sure. Right.
So we get those discounts too. But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of our attendance is from exchange that out of town.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's good that there's 2 tiers, the residents price and then non-residents. I definitely like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
by the way.
Of all the lists of events, these include your events and they do not include any Zoo Society events. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have not got their list yet.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the 2023 zoo fees, hours, events, forms, and agreements?
I so move that we approve the 2023 annual zoo hours, fees, events, programs, and contracts.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Ken, Jamie, thank you for the presentation as well.
Yes, thank
Neat,
you.
organized, red lines, so we know where the changes are. It just makes review and analysis much easier. So appreciate the time you put in there. Next up is the request for mobile voting van at the senior center.
Thank you, Mr. Latchford.
Welcome.
A representative of the organization known as Absentee Voting contacted me asking permission from the Parks Department Board to park their LaPorte mobile unit at the Senior Center on November 3rd, 2022, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. This would allow seniors a chance to vote early, and I recommend this operation as it may be necessary for some senior voters.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Only that early voting's the way to go. I voted already.
Yeah.
I walked in and I was out in less than 10 minutes. So if you don't like to wait in line, go early.
Yeah, you're right.
And this is the van that's been in the news recently with the LaPorte County Councilor Commission. Okay, so thank you. And is it operated by the, it's not the commission now, but by the elections. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the clarification on it. Yeah.
Any questions or comments? Questions from the public? Hearing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
I would move that the request for mobile voting van at the senior center on the listed date be approved.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Any other new business tonight?
No, sir.
No resolutions?
We had enough last time.
We can make up a few.
Yeah.
Right, we'll move on to report of officers. So, Mr. Shin.
Thank you, President Latchford. This evening, I will be reporting on park maintenance in the senior center and various other items. With Monday and Tuesday's high winds, it was Tuesday cleaning sand all day, the sand coming in faster than can be scooped up. Porta pots were being tossed around and replaced in upright positions only to be swept over soon after. So you can imagine what the problems the staff had out on the beach. There were some reports of garbage cans that were pushed over into the water, and they spent tirelessly yesterday and today putting those back. So those items are put back correctly. Director, Mr. Volz, and I have set up a meeting with 811 representative to discuss options to locate the IT's fiber lines, possibly permanent markers. As I discussed before, the dead trees have been removed throughout the parks, and you'll be seeing new trees that have been planted throughout the parks. The temporary speed bumps that were installed at California Avenue to divert the water into the catch basins are complete. And these I will have pictures of at the next meeting. They seem to be working fine from yesterday's rain. The senior center, I met with architect Jerry Fedorchik and senior center director Tara Miller today regarding the plans and specs of the renovation project. They will be complete and delivered to me in the next few days, and I will pass them on to our park attorney, Laura Nurnberg, for her review. And to answer your question about the Mott's Woods incident where there was some encroachment, the board asked if I would look into seeing if there was any environmental stipulation on the conveyance of that property, which was not actually the Mott's Woods conveyance, but a conveyance by Harbor Trust. And I checked with Harbor Trust and there were no stipulations on that property to preserve it. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Any questions or comments?
So then they don't have to replace the trees or anything. It's good. We're,
Not under any written stipulation.
yeah. Okay. So then are we done with this project or is there still more?
I would think that with such a speedy job by the homeowner to take away the encroachment items, that I would have no problem with leaving it as it is for now.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, just one question, not to put you on the spot. Could you give us an update on the construction of the Big Cat project?
Yes, I will. I visited the Big Cat project late last week and found that the structural components have been installed at the far end, and it's a sight to be seen. It is closed off to the public, but the columns and the beams are installed at the far end. There might be a little bit of a delay in some of the materials for the ceiling enclosure, which is it's a steel webbing. So there might be some delay on that. But if any of the board members would like to walk through, I'd be glad to take them at any time.
Thank you.
Any vandalism report?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, there was no vandalism. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the liaison reports. There hasn't been a planning commission meeting since our last meeting. Port Authority, Mr. Freeze.
Yes, there was a meeting Monday. It was a very spirited meeting, but nothing that really pertained to the park department.
Thank you. And the Zoological Society, Mr. Lang.
Just a few items. The Zoological Society met on Tuesday, and they are working on possible dates for Brew at the Zoo next year. And this would more than likely happen on a Friday. And possible dates would be in June 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd, more than likely somewhere around the 9th. They also have, the Society has donated $350 for Boo at the Zoo. And Johnny, and at the meeting, mentioned that the amount of money that they made in the 5K run was $5,300.
Nice.
So that was a nice sum for a morning run. And that is the extent of the report.
Thank you, Mr. Lang. Attorney's report. Ms. Neer.
Nothing to report today. Thank you.
Any director's reports tonight?
That's it.
Okay, right back to Mr. Lang with Department finances.
Michigan City Park Department claims docket for October the 19th, municipal, $208,020.47. Golf petty cash, $363.90. Zoo endowment none at this time, bringing a total for the claims docket for October the 19th, 2022, $208,384.47. and 37 cents. I so move that we accept the claims docket for October 19th.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Payroll number 20 with a pay date of October the 7th, 2022. Total payroll of $79,924.32. I so move that we approve payroll number 20.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Under gifts and donations, Unity Foundation of LaPorte County, a zoo donation miscellaneous $1,031. Unity Foundation of LaPorte County, zoo donation miscellaneous $1,000. North Judson Veterinary Clinic, zoo donation for Boo at the Zoo, $350. Edward Jones, zoo donation Big Cat House, $1,000. Zoo donation Roundup Program, $11.56. I so move that we recognize these gifts and donations.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Under minor transfers, none at this time. Zoo endowment, none at this time. Board of Works, none at this time. Credit card charges, none at this time. That ends the financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Lang. Any questions or comments from the public tonight? Seeing none, any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, our next meeting is Wednesday, November 2nd at 5 p.m. right here. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
So move.